It's great to see you again, Alex.
Likewise.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
welcome everybody to the LinkedIn Profit System. Alex has been one of the power users of LinkedIn, and he has doubled his list over the last few years and has grown a list from just 500 to what, 20,000 now?
Yeah, so total number of followers and connections just over 13,000 now.
Nice. All right. So we want to basically tap into Alex's mind on how he maximizes his strategies on LinkedIn, and no better way to listen than someone who has actually done it, right? So,
Exactly.
so just a quick introduction to everyone. You may not be plugging into this series of um, workshops and webinars. So let me just introduce Empathy Solutions and ourselves. I'm Brandon. I'm the lead consultant in Empathy Solutions. We are an Infusionsoft certified consultant, as well as I'm also a duct tape marketing consultant. What we do is that we help SMEs generate a systematic leads over a period of time, and we help them implement their marketing strategies. One of the areas that we specialize in is in marketing automation. And today we have a special guest, Alex, whose company is actually voted in 2015 as one of the most innovative companies in Australia. No, so I would want to steal the limelight from Alex. And Alex, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Look, first of all, anytime we get the opportunity to change and transform how people think and also market themselves on LinkedIn is an absolute privilege. We don't take it lightly. So I want to make sure that if you're listening, whether it's to the recording or if it's live, I want to make sure you walk away with a lot of points and also a plan so you can start getting some results. So look, for most of you that don't know the story, I'll give you a quick version. I started on LinkedIn after I sold my door-to-door sales company, and I moved back to Sydney. I started an advisory firm, and I realized that I was facing some pretty similar challenges as most small business owners do, which is going to networking functions and not really generating any good leads from it, not being able to generate leads consistently, and also not being able to get in front of key decision makers and standing out in a marketplace. So those were some of the challenges that we used to face all the time. And at that time, this is like 5 years ago now, marketing was evolving and it changed significantly from the push approach, where you basically sell people, to the pull approach, which is, content, and then warm people up and then introduce your product or service. So I was sick and tired of the traditional methods of advertising and marketing, and I looked into all the various social media platforms, and out of every single one, we found LinkedIn to be the most powerful because it enabled us to connect with journalists and editors. We got featured in 50 media publications, never sent out a press release. We grew our database for Linkfluencer from 50 subscribers to over 14,000 now. And we generated hundreds of clients in 55 industries. Like, we achieved all that on LinkedIn, and we realized that there was a methodology, and we now call that the 3 steps to LinkedIn mastery. So hopefully in this session, we can give you a ton of content around that.
Excellent. And you mentioned one thing about reaching influencers and able to market on different channels. One of the areas that we realize that many companies are able to do nowadays, instead of traditionally, is to market on omni channels or multi-channels. So you could have a strong content management process, content marketing process, and people can actually look at your contents, and finally you can connect with them on LinkedIn. Is that something that you do?
Yeah. So look, influencers are massive in today's day and age. Like, being able to connect with influencers and then getting them to market or what's the right word? Endorse your product or service, 100%. Yeah, for sure. And look, influencers to some degree are journalists and editors. You have some well-respected journalists who are known in the industry. So if you can get them to do a good story about you or do a bit of a write-up, then you you gain a bit of credibility through their experience as well.
Yes, excellent. I think that's a real powerful strategy. And I had actually subscribed to Alex Linkfluencer 3 Steps to Mastery program, and I find it really useful. So one of the things that you mentioned was to come up with an overarching objective, right, of the LinkedIn campaign. I suppose many companies use LinkedIn for different purposes. Some are B2B, some are B2C. But generally, I suppose you can broadly classify them into a couple of objectives. You mentioned about getting on the radar of journalists and media, and that ability to leverage on their clout and gives you the credibility and endorsement that's very strong. And of course, in the other objectives that you mentioned was also to connect and collaborate with potential influencers, right? To be able to share things like guest blogs between each other. And that way, the influencers can help you to reach your target market, right? And you also mentioned in the other objectives is to get strategic partners, and as well as finally, a lot of people want to get appointments, to pitch, but at the same time, that is, I suppose a lot of people are just using that method, and a combination of journalist coverage content can actually make appointment setting a lot more useful. Alex, would you like to share with us some pointers about objective setting in LinkedIn marketing?
Look, yeah, Brennan, LinkedIn is no different to any other marketing strategy out there in the business world today. I believe that before you do anything around marketing or sales, you have to have a plan, because I know a lot of people who are on LinkedIn who spend hundreds of hours per year, but just don't generate any results. And they're on there every now and then. They don't really have a plan. And all of a sudden they say that LinkedIn doesn't work, but really they don't actually have an outcome on what they want to achieve. And that's not clear. So what we advise all of our members is to create a plan on what you're looking to achieve through LinkedIn and make sure that that's linked to your business objective. So if I was listening in on this show, what I would be doing is I would be saying, okay, what are my marketing objectives over the next 6 to 12 months? And then who do I need to connect with in order to achieve those marketing objectives? And then once you've got that client avatar, then you can go back and think, okay, well, I'm actually going to go and connect with decision makers in, let's say, the IT industry, because they're the key decision makers you need to touch base with. So it's all really relevant to your business, not in LinkedIn for the sake of connecting with people and using it as a marketing tool. So always start with an outcome, get clear on your client avatar, and then once you know your client avatar, then you have to build a compelling LinkedIn profile based on that. So never ever just kind of put some copy on your profile unless it's targeted and the language is very specific to that target audience.
Right. And on the aspect of journalists and media as an objective, right? What would you advise a company that is in the process of reaching out to, let's say, a B2C business, like, let's say, restaurants, right? How would they benefit from LinkedIn and journalists that are having the influence over that? Is it like looking for food critics or something like that?
Yeah, well, look, here's the thing. If you don't have an online footprint or personal brand in today's business world, in my opinion, you don't exist. Right. People buy into people these days. They don't buy into companies or products anymore. Once they like the person, then they want to investigate the company and investigate their product or service. And if you actually look at it, the stats don't lie. The second most viewed page on the internet is the About Us section. The second most viewed page, which means, and the homepage is obviously the first. So it means people don't care about what you say on your homepage. They want to actually get to know you first, or the people behind the company, before they do business. And getting media is a phenomenal way to build social proof. It builds credibility, builds trust, And most importantly, when someone searches for you, and we all do it before I go into a phone call meeting, before I sign on a dotted line, I always do like a background check of the person I'm doing business with. So if I search someone's name and I can't see anything about them, that doesn't really give me assurance to think he or she is an expert in this field. So but when you actually build your online footprint, and look, I'm not saying this to brag, but if you actually if you Google Alex Brews, the first 10 to 15 pages are just links of articles where I've written, publications I've been featured in, columns that I write for, like Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, HubSpot. These are all credibility boosters.
Right.
And to a point where this is a phenomenal story, I was approached by someone who was an entrepreneur contributor, and he approached me and said, hey, notice some of the things you're doing online, would love to chat with you. We're about to launch something quite innovative here in Silicon Valley and see if you want to sit on our board. I have not met them to date. On the second phone call, they sent me over a proposal to get shares in their company and sit on their board. And when I asked them the question, I said, okay, I'm flattered, and yes, I'm going to proceed, but what can I ask? I've never met you guys. What gives you the confidence to, invest in me to sit on your board? And they said, we looked at all the reviews, we looked at all the recommendations on LinkedIn, we looked at the publication right for, and that was good proof for us that you'd been around the blocks, and everything within those articles were on point. So regardless of whatever industry you're in, one part of building your online footprint and your personal brand is media exposure. And 94.2% of journalists and editors are on LinkedIn. Like it's mind-blowing how powerful it can be if you just use it for media exposure.
Right. Great. Thank you for sharing about that. That is very useful. And of course, the one thing is about making objectives, right, is of course to make the goals smart, right, to be specific and all that. So is there an example of a specific objective that you want, that we should prepare? For example, let's say I want to get 10 related journalists in the next year, or should there be some kind of more specific goals that are
100%.
objectives?
For sure. So what we recommend to our members is, again, going out and getting media exposure for the sake of saying I've got media exposure. Sure, it's good, but it would be better if that media exposure was targeted. So we actually say, write down the 3 publications that are well known and you'd like to get featured in. So Forbes magazine, it's global, Entrepreneur, well respected, Huffington Post, enough said, they're well known as well. So they're like 3 that are good for you building your core personal brand. Then you've got publications that your target market are actually reading. So make a list of those and then use LinkedIn to connect with the journalists and editors, and obviously start building a relationship with them. And we have this process called the Rapport Bank, which we go into detail a lot within our online program, but essentially it's 4 steps that we've identified that are key to you building a relationship with a particular contact before you actually ask for that meeting, ask for that phone call, and what have you.
Yes, and the 4 steps probably is important for any form of contact we want to build, right? Be it journalist or be it a potential business you want to pitch to, or potential strategic partners, right? So then that brings us to another point about using ads versus a manual process of engagement and spending time to connect, engage, and get into a conversation, right? So I suppose some people have tried to use Facebook advertisements, and there are statistics that basically say that LinkedIn is actually, in terms of LinkedIn advertisements, is actually much more, the returns on investment is higher than other forms of social media marketing, right? I was also quite surprised about this data, right? I have spent some money to buy LinkedIn ads. They are not exactly very cheap either, you know. So I just like to have a bit of input from you regarding, have you tried ads, and how do you think ads can work in the favor of people who want to reach out to the kind of customers that they want to talk to?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. I think if you're a service-based business and your cost per act, like for me, it's not necessarily the ads that count. It's
Yes.
the cost. How much is it going to cost you to get that client to opt in, and then once they opt in, how much is how many opt-ins you have to get in order for that person to buy.
Yeah.
So I think if people know that price point, then look into ads, and you have to just play around with it a little bit to figure out whether it's going to be cost effective. If you run a service-based business and your cost per acquisition is, let's say, you can afford to spend $1,500 on ads to get an appointment, yeah, I would be using LinkedIn. But if you're selling a information product and it's only $100, then probably not going to work because you won't make money from it. I played around with the ads a little bit. I haven't spent a ton of money, and one of the reasons why I haven't, I've found connecting with people on a one-to-one basis is a lot more powerful. And I'll tell you why at the moment, I don't think that the ad system or the advertising of LinkedIn is as powerful as it will be in 5 to 10 years time. So this is what I think is going.
All right, Alex, I think we may have lost you. Maybe the connection is back on Alex's side or my side. I'm not too sure. Meanwhile, let me see whether I can get Alex back. Okay. Anyway, let me just cover some points while I try to. Alex.
Yeah, sorry.
We sort of
I'm not sure what happened.
You for 2 minutes. So
okay.
Could you just restate what you mentioned in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. I was basically saying, that right now, the stats show that an average LinkedIn member spends anywhere between 17 to 30 minutes a month on the platform.
Right.
So what happens in between those minutes is that, they check their emails, they check their notifications, they check their invitation requests, and they don't really have a lot of time or spend a lot of time looking at ads. And they're actually not going on LinkedIn to look at ads. They're going on to connect with people, to write a blog, to respond to blogs from their network. So I think what will happen is in about, let's say, 3 to 5 years time, we will see something different because most people are not educated around how to effectively use LinkedIn, and they don't actually know why they're on LinkedIn, and they don't have a plan. So once you get millions of people on a particular platform with no real purpose, the engagement level is going to be very difficult. Whereas Facebook have done a phenomenal job building this community and showcasing to people the value that Facebook brings into their life every day. So look, give it 3 to 5 years, and I think LinkedIn will be a powerhouse. And at that point, I think advertising is going to be cheaper on LinkedIn because there'll be more demand for it.
Right.
And so, I personally would look at, so if you're listening to this and you're thinking of doing ads, first of all, to be totally transparent, I'll probably spend less than $1,000 on ads. If you are going to spend money and you want to do it, I would recommend looking at your statistics and see how much it costs to convert someone to give you their details, and then for that to then result in you getting money from that person or selling something, and then track back and just test it out. So, but I personally don't use it. We recommend for people to connect with other members online and then build a relationship, because that to me is a lot. That is the pull method. Remember how I talked about the push and pull?
Right.
The push is the ads. Hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. The pull is let's connect, let's build a relationship, and then let me sell whatever it is that you have, product or service.
That's right. So it's also my experience that in terms of ads, right, is probably different from different businesses. Some business might find a good ROI in terms of lead generation using LinkedIn ads, but some business may not, right? Obviously, if you are, so the kind of ads that regularly repeat itself would probably mean that that company who is advertising might be seeing some results. So one of the things that I would study is current ads and see whether that appeals and whether these guys are around for a long time. Some of the types of ads that I see regularly are the MBA courses and the HR recruitment ads, right? So I suppose that their cost per acquisition may be high, but if the ticket price of the product is high, it justifies the cost. So I do agree with Alex about the testing, and then it's a matter of your actual ROI and your cost per acquisition cost. So it really depends. Thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, I understand that Alex, you are also, but of course, the other way to utilize more of LinkedIn is to become a power user, or they have this sales acceleration program and all that. So later, maybe I would like Alex to share with us some of the features of this premium membership in LinkedIn and perhaps how he uses it. Okay, but the other point I wanted to cover was about LinkedIn, the process of engaging and connecting and sharing content and replying. All these take up a tremendous amount of time. Actually, I understand that if it's systemized, you will still probably need to spend about one over hours a day alone, right, just to catch up on all the connections. Well, how do you manage to do so many things on LinkedIn?
Well, it's real easy, right? Because time is a challenge regardless of whatever marketing strategy you choose.
Correct.
But so here's my view and opinion on this. If you were to go and you need to put things into perspective, right? People say, oh yeah, it takes too much time to kind of connect with people one-on-one. Kind of do a mass email out to my connections? And short answer is no, because social selling is all about human interaction on a one-to-one level. So if you compare LinkedIn and the time you spend to getting a TV commercial up, the time and money you would spend on LinkedIn is far less than what you would spend getting a TV commercial up. You got to go to first of all, you got to get then you got to maybe go to, I don't know, 10 15 agencies and share that brief with them. Then they're going to get back to you. You're going to have another meeting, so there goes more time. Once you agree, then there comes a strategy session on what you want actually within that particular ad. Then you got to shoot it and everything in between. So when you look at that and the money you have to spend, time and resources you need, and mind you, TV advertising is what I call the spray approach. So you basically spray millions of people and hope that within those people there are some key decision makers, and that's why it's declining more and more. So whereas when you look at LinkedIn and you have a systemized approach of getting in front of hundreds of decision makers per month, spending anywhere between 2-3 hours a week, not every day, 1 hour a day. We recommend our members spend, and if you follow this approach, you actually spend 2 to 3 hours a week, and that will enable you to communicate with 500 plus new decision makers every month. Right. There is no other marketing strategy right now that will enable you to spend as least amount of money and least amount of time to get in front of 500 plus new decision makers every month. Like it's crazy. So I think when people say I don't have time, it is, and I mean no disrespect here, it is a little bit uneducated response because you got to put it in perspective.
Yes, I understand, because that is the kind of response I get all the time when I say, hey, you should really think about LinkedIn marketing, and say some of these responses are, we don't have time, right?
Exactly.
And I personally also use some of the methods. I'm starting to get very good results. So I do understand what you're talking about. And so far, just to share to the audiences, right? I have also engaged the services of virtual assistants to help me to do some pre-crafted responses. So for certain parts of the approach, right, it may be scripted, and this is also some of the strategies that Alex has on his program that I encourage you towards the next 10 minutes. If you hang around, we'll be offering you a access to download some resources that you can pre-craft some standard templates or responses in the beginning, and you can start to automate that either through a virtual assistant, or you can devote some time every day just to do that. And as what Alex say, having a targeted list where you are snipering instead of spraying, well, that's a much better ROI return on your time. So I will also add on to Alex to encourage people who are doing LinkedIn and using LinkedIn as a way to reach out to influencers and decision makers, that you are now targeting instead of spraying. So the kind of time that you spend cannot just be estimated based on what you understand right now. So I guess that's what I want to add on. Great, fantastic. Thank you, Alex. I think that's a great point. And there is the process that we go through in terms of LinkedIn marketing, where we connect using our profiles, or even when we post articles, people land on our pages, then we can connect with them. Then we might join the kind of groups that our target market is joining, so that they see the post that we post up, and they see that we comment and make useful comments, right? And we are highly endorsed by other people. We endorse other people as well. Then there is a process of converting that relationship into actual meetings or an actual conversation. So Alex, can you just briefly share with us some simple, you're based on your experience, right? How does this process work?
Yeah, look, I think that'll probably take 30 to 45 minutes, because
just simple.
I'll give you a high level perspective. So basically, what first of all, you need a plan, and then you got to build a compelling profile based on that plan.
That's right.
And that's like the key to LinkedIn success, because in today's business world, your first impression is your best or last, and you don't get a second chance to make a good first impression. So whether you do posts, whether someone finds you through another connection, whether they find you through the news feed or one of your blogs or an email you've sent, they're all going to go to your profile. They're going to check you out. And if you don't have something that connects with them and showcases why you're an expert and how you can help them, and essentially how you've helped other people in their particular situation, they'll just move on to the next person. People don't have time these days to, spend looking and diving deep into your profile to see whether you're the right one. If there's millions of people out there that they can turn to, and the customer really has the advantage in today's business world. So I think your profile is the key. Once you've got a compelling profile, the connect stage is all about building a sales funnel. So you got to segment your contacts, and geez, this is like one of the most important things you need to do on LinkedIn, because there's a lot of hype and talk about content is king, but I actually think content means nothing and is useless if it's not in the right context.
Right.
And the way to get, this is why I say context is queen. So if you put the two together, you get the maximum results. And so for instance, we ran that when we had the business advisory firm, we ran a targeted campaign connecting with accountants. And so we could have sent those accountants any type of content around business, but we chose to communicate and send articles and tips around the accounting industry, because we know that's going to be more relevant and it's in the right context. So you have to segment your contacts on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has a very powerful CRM system for you to be able to do that. And once you segment your contacts, then it's a matter of using the advanced search feature, which I think is the most powerful tool on the internet today to connect with key decision or find key decision makers and then connect with them. So I would be using the advanced search feature to find that target market, and then connect with them. Then you go to like the profit stage, which is all about building your sales funnel. Which is converting the leads that you've generated, all those connections, into sales by, you know, building relationships, like you've said on this slide, contacting them and engaging with them and actually replying back to their emails and so on. And we've got a 4-step process on obviously how to do that. And the first step of that process is really stepping back and thinking to yourself, after I've shared these 4 emails, what do I want this person to do? Right. Is it a phone call? Is it a face-to-face? Is it a download? Is it, I don't know, coming to a networking function that I'm holding? And that is really going to determine what you send out within the next 4 emails. And that's like a very quick, high-level overview of our 3-step methodology.
Right, that's great. No, I've just recently joined the Business Accelerator program, where I'm learning the 4-step process that Alex was talking about, and I'm really excited to be trying out some of those strategies. And I do really see some progress already, some results. So I would highly encourage the viewers right now, if you are viewing the presentation right now, there will be a button that is appearing pretty in the next 10 minutes that you can download an excerpt of how this strategy works. And perhaps if you're interested, you can sign up for this course itself. I think it is well worth the money and the time spent to make the strategy work for you. Right, so
thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so one of the things that I managed to implement is I generated a target list of prospects by job, company, and title. And with the strategies to connect, engage, convert, there are certain scripts that we follow. And that can be outsourced to a virtual assistant to do some of the menial work before the conversation turns into something that cannot be just a canned response, right? And then I will start to engage them. And so far, it's been really working very well. You know, so I'm so happy that I have found Alex's strategy. That is something that really makes LinkedIn work for us. And of course, like what you say, when do it that I'll drop a call. And in fact, I combine it with a little bit of a direct mail as well. So if there is a good response from a certain group of clients that we are approaching, we will even send a direct mail package that to them to see that. So let's say I send a send timer to say that, okay, time is precious. Automate your way to business success. You know, so something cheeky like that. So after a few days, you know, we will follow up with a message on LinkedIn. You know, did you receive my send timer? You know, and that becomes a conversation starter. So I think LinkedIn supplement in the overall marketing strategy is both the digital side as well as the offline, where you actually use personal relationship building as a strong tool and not just hide behind a digital face. You know, that is how
exactly
I see, you know, LinkedIn can be really powerful. So
and just to add to that, it's like most people think, oh, you know, I'm just going to do Facebook advertising and that's going to sort all my leads and it's going to bring all the revenue I need ever for my business. And it's never the case. Like LinkedIn fits into your overall marketing strategy. So you got to think of your sales cycle and think, okay, there are 15 steps in my sales cycle. Where does LinkedIn fit into that sales cycle? And so, yeah, spot on.
Right. Really cool. Well, oh, by the way, for audiences, right, there is a submit a question section. So if you do have a question, well, you can submit the question, and hopefully, if we might not have time to answer the question today, but we'll probably send it to Alex and then see whether Alex can come up with some interesting answers to that, and I will send out the answers by email, right? So the other thing we mentioned about in LinkedIn is the paid services, where you have the LinkedIn Lead Accelerator program. You talked about the marketing, the CRM, right? The premium account, right? Would you like to share with us a bit on how that works?
Yeah, so there's a basic account, which is a free account, and then there's a premium feature membership. So we always recommend our members to go into the premium membership, and the one that we recommend is called Business Plus. I believe it's $47.99 a month if you pay 12 months up front, or $60 per month if you do it month by month. So really look at your strategy and think which option is best suited to you. We don't make any commissions. We recommend it because it actually works. And about 5 months ago, LinkedIn actually changed their algorithm. So before they made these changes, you could actually use the advanced search feature, and you could connect with, when you do it like an advanced search, you could see up to about 100 to 150 people. And there was no cap on that. So you could do as many searches as you wanted and see up to 100, 150 people that you could actually go ahead and connect with. Now with the changes, they've capped the number of people you can search and connect with, which means, and we don't know that number, but let's say after 300-400 searches, they'll cut the advanced search feature off, and they'll limit it to a very small number of searches that you can have. So like for $47 a month to connect with hundreds of new key decision makers in your target market every week, like, to me, it's too cheap.
Right.
And I'm not going to go tell LinkedIn that, but, because then we'll be paying through the nose. But $47 a month, that's just one option. Then you get the LinkedIn Gold badge on your actual profile, which showcases a lot more credibility. You put your hand in your pocket and you're paying something. People respect that, and they connect with more people who are premium members. You go into this open profile category, which means, like, I can now connect with anyone. Sorry, I can send a message through LinkedIn to anyone else who's on a LinkedIn premium account.
Right.
So this is millions of people.
Yeah, and this is a very important point, because if you're sending a random email to the inbox, right, it probably get lost. But through LinkedIn, as long as they view it, they will be able to see your email. I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, and like, that's just 3 reasons why we recommend people join premium. But there's, like, if we had another 3 hours, I could sit here and continue telling reasons why. It's phenomenal, and we use it every day.
Have you tried to drop an email to Richard Branson or something?
I haven't done that yet, but I might do that after this session. I'll say, hey, name came up in conversation through this webinar. I thought I'd touch base and see how you are.
Yeah. Okay. That's very cool. So I basically I've just asked about all the questions that I asked. It seems that the questions are coming in there's quite a few questions already. Let me see whether I can pick one. I think we probably only have time to answer one. Okay, one of the question is about how you apportion your daily time budget to LinkedIn in a very practical manner. So I think I did mention just now, but I think make it to be a bit more detailed, right? How much time do you personally actually spend on LinkedIn?
Look, probably 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
So we have 2 posts that go out every week. I don't personally, so I write the post, and then I give that to my assistant. She uploads it within my profile.
Right.
So basically putting in the copy, the images, making sure the hyperlinks work. This stuff all takes time. So
Right.
I always say in business, you know, the quickest way to success is finding out the areas that you're that are not your strong suits, finding people who love those areas, and then delegating and outsourcing that to those people.
Yeah.
And that's how you build a successful business and team. So I try to outsource as much as I can, and all the posts, all the blogs, all the emails that go out are on my behalf, but someone else is doing it for me. Now, if someone responds, my assistant will not go and respond to them. I will actually respond to them myself. So I'll go into my own profile, respond to comments, respond to emails, and that's a good way to start getting that conversation flowing. So short answer to the question is 30 to 40 minutes, but those 30 to 40 minutes are actually engaging with people rather than posting stuff, which is what your PA or VA can do for you.
That's right. That's a good point. So we have come to the end. One last question that is for my own reasons. Right? So we are an Infusionsoft certified partner. So we help clients implement marketing automation. And I noticed that you are also an advocate of automation. So
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit more of how you use marketing automation, and you do in fact use Infusionsoft, right?
Love Infusionsoft.
Yeah, so maybe you can share with us a bit more of the link between Infusionsoft and your LinkedIn strategies.
Yeah, so Infusionsoft is, in my opinion, the most powerful email marketing software on the planet. And the reason for that is because it allows you to set up multiple campaigns and connect those campaigns together whilst making it automated. So I'll give you an example. When someone signs up to, we've got several campaigns, and I'll give you the trial campaign. So we got this 7-day trial. You get to do the course for free, and at the end of the 7 days, if for whatever reason you don't want to be a member, you can let us know within the 7 days. If not, after that, you'll be charged $297 as a one-off investment. Now, the whole process of you landing on a page, going to an order form, putting in your details, getting the login details after you put your sign up to the trial, at the end of the 7 days, you'll automatically get billed. As soon as you get billed, Infusionsoft will then send out an invoice to you, and we will then send a series of emails to you, giving you access to some bonuses that you get after the trial. All of that is systemized. Now, if your payment doesn't go through, Infusionsoft will then send out multiple emails across a period of 3 months to try to, I guess, take out the money from your account. At the end of those 3 months, if we still haven't got payment, then we get notified and we get in touch with you to say, hey, unfortunately, your credit card didn't go through. Here are the details, etc. So that's the only manual part of the process. Everything else, from landing page to you becoming a full member and being part of that community, is automated.
Right,
and that's a massive compliment to Infusionsoft, because we tried everything before that and it was absolutely hopeless.
That gives me a great comfort that I am working on the right system. So anyway, thank you, and thank you, Alex, for your time that you have taken off to give us these insights into LinkedIn marketing. And I do have the download file ready for those who are interested in knowing more about Alex 4-step system and to LinkedIn Mastery. And Alex, do you have a special offer for our listeners? Of course, this will not apply to all those who are watching a replay, but as to the live audiences, do you have something special for them?
Well, look, we've got the 7-day trial, which, like, I don't have anything special on this webinar, but look, here's the thing. Our mission is to change and transform the way you, as an entrepreneur, business owner, marketer, go out there and market yourself. That's our mission. We want to transform that process for you. So we know that the only way we can reach the masses is to price it at a point where it's affordable for a startup, someone who's thinking about starting a business, all the way through to someone who's established. So hence the reason why it's a one-time investment of $297, because we're not interested in reaching 50, 100 people. We want to transform 50, 100,000 people on how to market themselves better. So look, go onto our page, linkfluencer.com/trial. Sign up. You're going to absolutely love the course. If you thought the content in this webinar was awesome, and I hope you did, in the actual course, we go into everything in detail. We give you step-by-step guides. All the videos are done professionally. I was actually told a couple of days ago, it is the most professionally done and looking sort of course on social media that they've ever seen. Like, there's no expense spared. So I think you're going to get a ton of value, and I guarantee you that if you implement the strategies that we share, you will get results. Like, I've just seen it over and over again. So whether you sign up to that or not, I just strongly advise you to go out there and actually be more active on LinkedIn and follow our 3-step system if you want to actually have a systemized approach to success. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you, Alex. And I would like to attest to that as well. So I'm on the program, and I find the video tutorials and even the worksheets where you even give out like template scripts that we can use for the initial contact. I find that really very, very useful. It saves us tons of time in terms of thinking of how to really craft it. So I also encourage everyone to visit the website and get on the trial. Again, click that link down below to access the trial. Right. Thank you, Alex, for your time. We have done exactly about almost an hour. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for having us. And guys, all the best. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I look forward to having and seeing your business as the next success story.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Till the next broadcast, I'm Brandon from Empathy Solutions signing out.